What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more J-drama score, and we're back with another tune from Okitegami Kyoko's Memorandum. Really enjoy this show, mentioned it a few times. It's funny, it's like smart and like, sort of sharp. It's a detective story, but there's a lot of romance by the end, or not, I wouldn't say a lot of romance, but the romance component becomes very strong by the end. So it's sweet, funny, smart. I mean, there's honestly little that it doesn't have. It's a really, really great show that blends a few different sort of genres or flavors. Two of my favorite people are the main characters. Aragaki Yui plays the character Kyoko, the sort of detective that after a traumatic incident, which by the end of the show you sort of realize what happened, or you're given information as to what happened, but after that point she can't make new memories, so as the show starts, you learn she's this really successful and smart detective, but she loses all new memories when she sleeps. So the people in her life have to meet her anew every day. She has to like learn and figure out everything about a case within one waking day, or else she has to start all over. Meaning, there are certain restrictions placed on her life by her condition, but obviously, there are companies that like to hire her because they don't have to worry about her talking about the case, months later, she'll never remember it. So yeah, it's a show that sort of combines, I mentioned it before, kind of like a certain part of the movie Memento, a certain part of the movie 50 First Dates, although this show is like neither of those movies. But yeah, over the course of the show, there's a guy named Yakusuke who he's this really unlucky guy, but he's a really earnest and honorable guy despite always having people accuse him of things he didn't do and so on. And because of that, he's very protective of other people because he doesn't want them to go through what he's gone through. He doesn't want them to be accused of things they didn't do. And over the course of the show, you learn that Kyoko writes notes on herself to just keep track of who she is every time she wakes up, but also eventually she writes on her arm that I can trust Yakusuke because she realizes he's a good person. So like, again, the show sort of develops over time, and eventually by the like last third of the show, it's almost like Yakusuke is going with her as like sort of a partner, or like a sidekick, or a helper, an assistant. And so the name of this tune, it's called no Natante. Tante is like detective. Natante no Aibu, which basically translates to like literally of a detective, partner, question mark. So more idiomatically, partner of a detective, question mark. And it's basically getting at that idea that like by the latter part of the show, he's sort of slotted in, and she still has to learn who he is every day, but she's learned she can trust him. And that's good because by the end of the show you realize she actually is in danger, and it sort of relates to what happened to her before, but there's sort of a misunderstanding there too. So bottom line, by the end of the show he's kind of serving as her kind of partner, and I think that this tune, which plays a lot of times when they're on the scene trying to figure out what happened, trying to figure out who's lying to them, and who's telling the truth, it will play this scene. But over the course of the show, it becomes less about the individual case where you might hear it, and more about Kyoko as a detective and Yakusuke as this person in her life, sort of like a partner, maybe, a possibility to be a lover, a boyfriend, whatever. So this tune is basically about them as a couple, although again it's complicated because every day she wakes up she doesn't know who he is, and he has to like, hi, I'm Yakusuke, and meet you again. So yeah, let's get to it. This is translated into English, partner of a detective, question mark, and it's from the Okitegami Kyoko, Kyoko's Memorandum soundtrack, which is from 2015. And the soundtrack, let me make sure I got this right because it's done by two different people. Megumi Sasano was one of the people, but I'm not sure if she did this one. I think she did, yes. Let me just make sure I have that right because it shows them here. Yes, this is another tune done by the woman on your left there, who is Megumi Sasano. And the tune is, as I said, partner of a detective, question mark. Let me just get it queued up here. I apologize for not having it ready to go. And is it 24? No, it's 25. Okay, so here we go. Partner of a detective, question mark, by Megumi Sasano. least 2 different acoustic guitars, right? And the rhythm way, it almost sounds like a ukulele or something. It's like... And the other one almost sounds like a plucked violin. I think they're both guitars, but... Love it. Very atmospheric, and again, it's like when I'm doing these J-drama reactions. Wow, say that 3 times fast. It is hard for me to divorce the piece from the context in which I heard it. So often, there are moments where I'm like literally just thinking of scenes from the show. That was definitely the case there. And yeah, I think it perfectly captures the sort of, exciting, cautious, and also like not fully clear as to what's going to happen connection between Yakusuke and Kyoko-san. So yeah, I think it really sort of fits the vibe that it's going for. Again, I'm not sure exactly what instruments are at play. I think it's 2 acoustic guitars, and then again maybe a keyboard, like doing kind of an organ kit. And maybe there was some synth strings in there as well, so I'm not sure exactly the arrangement, but like I said, I think there's a couple acoustic guitars, if not, maybe a ukulele, maybe a plucked, like stringed instrument like a violin, so not sure, but I think it was 2 acoustic guitars, but really cool. As I said, eventually I'm going to start reacting to some of the tunes from the soundtrack by the other composer, but yeah, once again, shout out to Megumi Sasano, or Sasano Megumi. Do let me know what you think of the tune. Other than that, I will see you next time. Peace.